Hello, hello. What is the intro music from? It is apparently an unused track from the very first Spyro game. I guess there were a couple of songs that just didn't make their way into any levels. This one's from Mario Paint. But, yeah. So, it's been a little while since we've been on the pokedex grind. We've been busy committing crimes, living up to our New Year's resolution. I think I heard Wally crying, but guess he scampered off somewhere. So yeah, I don't got much. Yeah, it does sound very Spyro-y. It all uses like the same. I think the term is sound font. All the songs use kind of the same like MIDI kind of instrument situation, so it's all good. All right, let me go ahead and get the Pokemon up on the screen. And turn the audio back on for the Pokemon. There we go. Okie doke. So, it's been a minute since we've been here. And it's been a minute since we've done the rare candy duplications, so I think it's pretty straightforward, but I may just have to remind myself how to do it. Well, I can tell you that we're gonna need not eggs. He probably is sad he doesn't get second dinner. Although, we're a little annoyed with Mr. Wally because he did a bad. He did a bad. What Wally did was cats, as you may or may not know, sometimes they just throw up. And sometimes it's for like no reason. And sometimes it's because they've gotten into stuff they shouldn't have gotten into. And this was the latter. He got into some stuff that he shouldn't have. He'll be fine. Basically, as I understand it, the wife took her contacts out while in the bath and kind of left them on a little counter ledge by the bath, thinking she was going to throw them away. She forgot to, and Wally decided that looked like a snack. So he ate some discarded contact lenses. I found those. I found one of them in his hairball that he threw up. So he's been naughty. We've given him a talking to. We have told him that this is, not cool. So I think the way this glitch works is I basically just have to give mail to all of these idiots. And then once 5 idiots have mail, because we've done the glitch where there's one piece of mail that's in the Shadow Realm, but the game is still able to kind of recognize that there's, Shadow Realm stuff going on. It'll do some unintended stuff, including item duplication. Also, I think I know why alerts are broken. And there's a couple of different ways I can fix it. I've tried one way here, so if anybody feels like unfollowing and refollowing to see if you can hear the notification noises, I won't tell you not to. I think, yeah, it's complicated. I'm not gonna get into it. It's my fault, more than likely, that they broke. Okay, see, I heard that But I doubt that you heard that, so maybe I didn't fix it. How do I fix that? How do I fix that? I'll have to play with that another time. Nothing on your end. Yeah, that's what I feared. I just don't fully know how to fix that on your end right now. Let's see. Oh, see, I can do that. Yeah, and it comes up, but no noise. How do I get the noise? Do I really want to mess with this now on stream? No. So I'm not going to. Maybe we'll mess with it later. Okay. Dingus front and center. Let's give you a rare candy. And I think now we just try to give Dingus mail. And we say, yes, we wish to switch the items. Yes. There's question marks there. I think that's fine. I think we just say okay. And rare candy is still there. Let's just double check. I have to be careful with how I do this, believe it or not. Because if you start messing with this stuff too much, you get into the arbitrary code execution. Okay, yes, this is working. You get into the point where you're rewriting game code, and that's not okay. For what we're doing, trying to earn all the imaginary internet dopamine points, you can't be doing that. That's a step too far. So we're not doing that. We're just using the duplication portion of the glitch, which is permitted. It's been a matter of great discussion in the past over on that website, but the duping is allowed. And we're just gonna sit here and listen to, I guess, Pokemon Center music. Maybe, maybe we switch. Maybe we do... Oh, but I don't have any of my... Well, Pidgeot can learn Fly. Let's at least do this somewhere where we've got better music. This music's actually fine. It's better than the Pokemon Center. At least it's different. I've heard enough Pokemon Center music for my life. I don't know about you. But yeah, it's just this. And unfortunately, speeding up won't really do much. It'll honestly just make menuing harder. So we're just here. Hope you're hope you're having a great day. Hope that you knew that this was what you were signing up for. I'm doing fine. I've been playing some games on my alt account, making imaginary numbers go up on that. That's been successful. The Pokemart's pretty good. I will say, as I recall, the Ruby and Sapphire Pokemart is the better Pokemart. I think it's got more of a banger soundtrack. But we can go to the FireRed Leaf Green Mart. Yeah, see, no, it just plays the Pokemon Center music here. That's no good. That's no good at all. No, I've been watching a lot of, watching is probably not the right term because it's been very passive. But I've been listening to a lot of content, old school RuneScape content. A lot of people playing the game in unique and arbitrarily restricted ways. Like they'll limit themselves to like just a small subsection of the game, like certain amount of tiles, or like one region, which they call chunks. So they'll say, okay, I live in this chunk and I can't leave this chunk until I do everything possible that I could possibly ever do in this chunk. Yeah, so there's like 3 versions of RuneScape, right? There might even be more than that, but there's 3 that I know. There's RuneScape Classic, which is like RuneScape 1, basically. And that's like a version that predates what I even played. And then there's Old School RuneScape, which is RuneScape 2. And that's what I grew up playing. That was like the thing to do after school in like 2006, 2007, thereabouts. And now there's RuneScape 3, which is like modern RuneScape. But now they've splintered it, and like you can still play the older versions of RuneScape. And RuneScape 3 is just kind of doing its own thing with like new, better graphics and different. It's like 2 different timelines almost. Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for the old school RuneScape. It has a look to it that's very, like, I don't know, very early 2000s, late 90s. Every now and again, I threaten that I'll play RuneScape on stream. It's not going to happen anytime soon, because there are plenty of people who stream RuneScape. To me, I like watching MMOs as edited content. I don't know that I'd want to watch somebody else play an MMO in completion, like fully live, watch them grind. That's the thing. RuneScape it certainly can be at times a very grindy game. It can be, you know, and it's an MMO, and you kind of have to set your own goals. You know, there's no right or wrong way to play it. But yeah, I don't think I'm the guy to watch play it live. There have been whispers. People have been threatening to get retro achievements working on it. If they do that, we might play it once just to have a gander on it. Maybe complete the chef's assistant quest, you know, tutorial island. You know, couple of the really nostalgic early, you know, 10-minute quests, and call it a day, basically. There is a whole category of people out there who speedrun aspects of RuneScape, which is fascinating, and I want nothing to do with it. Hello, Square. Good to see you. We're talking about an old MMO that, it's like every 6 months to a year I remember that it exists and think, man, I should play it. And then I'm like, no, I have enough things that are time sinks. I don't need an MMO. Plus, there's all sorts of anime out there about people who play MMOs and then get stuck in the world of the MMO. I don't want to get stuck in the RuneScape world. No, that doesn't sound good to me. There be dragons. I do not wish to get broiled alive by a dragon. You can turn into an egg. That's true. Maybe if you remind me, and if you really, really want, maybe we play the RuneScape around Easter, and we do the holiday event, and we can turn into an egg. Because I think the way it works now in old school RuneScape is basically if you complete the Easter event, it like retroactively unlocks a bunch of old events, unique items. So I think you can get the egg ring like this year. Hey, if you don't remember, that's fine. Nobody probably wants to see it anyway. Any current time sinks? Oh, let's see here. Well, obviously the you know, you could argue just the streaming, the GTA that we've been playing. That's been a time sink. That's taken up a lot of time. That was a long game for us, for me. I don't usually play stuff that long on stream. At least I haven't in a long time. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, we've had a lot of Pokemon, but you know, we've beaten the game. You know, and that's we're just kind of doing end game shenanigans. A upcoming time sink or thing that will require a lot of my attention is that I'm probably gonna have to help a relative kind of figure out the best way to liquidate their coin collection. And you know, the always excellent suggestion of just give it to me, that didn't quite fly. So no, I'll have to actually like do some price checking and you know, figure out how to get that moved. Alright, we've got 99 rare candies. In the meme investor video, the ape said playing RuneScape gives you the skills to bring on the mother of all cells. Yeah, wasn't it something like, you know, we're gamers, we grind. Rah rah. Something to that effect. Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. I tell you what. You know, I've played old school RuneScape. I have not been able to retire based off of stonks, so I don't know if I don't think they were onto anything there. Did you do the uninstalling, unsubscribing? Yeah, Bomb unfollowed and refollowed, and it didn't work. So I will have to play around with it more. I have a few ideas of how to fix it, but I need to play with it while I'm not playing a game at the same time. Oh, for the grandmother. I'm gonna perform IT services for my grandmother tomorrow. So there will be no stream tomorrow, because I'll be otherwise occupied. Oh, no, it's nothing like that. My grandmother was subscribed to Office 365, I think on a previous computer. And we've moved her to some open source alternatives, like LibreOffice and similar programs. But she got an email basically saying, oh, it's going to renew in February, we're going to charge this card, so I gotta go over there and help her unsubscribe to that subscription. So she don't get charged for another year. Alright, Grimer Evolve. And of course, you know, not that it matters because we're not playing competitively, but these Pokemon They have no battle experience. We've just boosted their levels with rare candies, so they are going to be significantly weaker than ones that were trained correctly. That's a fair point. I should put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let's see. There we go. You know, I actually tried that once, because my grandfather, basically all he does with his computer these days is browse the internet. And sometimes print documents. And that last part ended up being an issue. Now, granted, this was 10 years ago. And, you know... And I set up Ubuntu on one of his machines. And I tried having him use that. And he always defaulted back to, like, stealing my grandma's computer. Because he couldn't adjust. Which is interesting, because... I'll pontificate on that. But yeah, he couldn't or wouldn't adjust... But then also, we had a hell of a time getting printer drivers working. You know, anytime you're dealing with printers in Linux, it can be a challenge. So no, they're sticking with Windows. It's what they know, and he's not interested in learning a new one. I mean, all he does, honestly, is he pulls up a web browser, logs into Gmail to see if anyone sent him any emails, usually his car club. He'll hop onto Craigslist to see if there's any cars for sale that he wants to buy. Or he'll pull up a web browser version of Solitaire, and he'll play Solitaire. That's about all he does with his computer. We've suggested getting him a tablet. He doesn't want to do that. Like I said, Ubuntu didn't work for him. So, all right, this is gonna be a long one. I don't remember if Tyranitar is level 50 or 55 or 45, but little Groudon here is gonna take a while to evolve. And we might, you know, if we want to take Groudon. You know, very appropriate name. If we want to take him to round 2 of the Pokemon League, we will need to give him vitamins. This guy isn't even a dragon type. He's a rock type. He's rock ground right now, but eventually he will become rock dark. Yeah, we're juicing. Watching a video about a dying Japanese village. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are like farming communities or are stuck way up in the mountains that, you know. I mean, here's the thing, and they want to bring people in, but I think it can be quite challenging to adapt to Japanese culture overall, and also the language is quite challenging even if you study it for a number of years. I mean, I'm sure living there it gets easier, but basically the same thing I hear from everybody who studies Japanese for an amount of time is they get to the point where they can read like hiragana and katakana. And so they're like, I can pronounce what I'm reading, but I do not know what this says. Because I, like, the vocabulary, it's like, it's rough. Yeah, the jobs, yeah, I don't, believe it or not, I haven't kept up with the Japanese job market, but I have to assume it's quite poor. and, you know, more so when it's rural. I don't know what Japan's attitude towards remote work is. I can't imagine it's positive. I reckon they pulled a US, and once COVID was over, they said, okay, back to the office. I mean, you know, it's... We look at it and we say, oh, that's very sad because, you know, it's Japan, it's another land, you know. But, like, the same thing happens in the US. Like, rural towns are dying in the US. People are moving away. People aren't moving in. Cost of living is cheap. Maybe not $68 a month, but it's cheaper than, you know, living in a city. Yeah, going there to teach English is probably your best bet, but yeah, even then, that's probably pretty challenging. Taking a boat to school, that's quite the journey. Alright, are you gonna evolve at 50? Nope, looks like it was 55. Well, you know, by taking the bus home from school, or rather by taking a boat home from school, you probably reduce quite drastically the chances of you getting isekai'd, because Truck-kun probably isn't as prevalent in those areas. That's probably a positive. It's a bit of an assumption, but I think it's a fair one. Okay, let's start duplicating some of these again. Oh yeah. This is the top tier gameplay everybody wanted to see. Oh no. You're on the boat, you hear the Jaws theme, duh, and you just see a truck's headlights peer out from beneath the ocean. That would be very terrifying and very confusing. Yes, they do have some incentives for, you know, having children. They'll give you money for it, but, you know, a lot of people argue you can't put a price on having children. But you can do some math, and you know, it's you're still going to be paying a lot of money to rear a child, ultimately. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. What's oh god, what's the guy? I just rewatched the damn show. What's the guy's name? Kazuma? Yeah, I think it's Kazuma. Yeah, maybe he came from a rural village. Maybe in rural areas, Truck-kun is replaced with Tractor-kun. Not yeah, not sure about that. Maybe. If you're gonna get isekai'd, life finds a way. far enough north to become Zamboni-kun. Oh no. Has anyone ever died by Zamboni? What's the kill count for Zambonis? You know, all the major auto manufacturers have a kill count. You know, even the fancy ones. Maybe even especially the fancy ones, you know. Porsche, Ferrari, Ford, Chevy, you know, they've all got a kill count. Zamboni, though. How many people have died by Zamboni? It can't be too many. That one guy from Deadpool. Alright, who's gonna tell Czar? Are you gonna make me tell Czar? I hate to break this to you. Deadpool, much like Santa, is a comic book superhero. And those events are wildly exaggerated for the pleasure of the viewer. Oh yeah, that author from Not Allowed in Another World. He was like nowhere near a highway, and yet Truck-kun found a way. That's true. So yeah, if you're gonna get isekai'd, it's gonna happen whether you want it to or not. Well, I mean, what are the statistics? It's like, you know, heart failure, cancer, Zamboni, smoking, or is the smoking cancer? I don't know. I'm sure the World Health Organization has statistics on the Zamboni crisis. It must. It surely must. And if they don't, that means they're hiding something. And we have to get them to release the papers. You can't find any death counts. Suspicious. Very suspicious. What doesn't Big Zamboni want us to know? I mean, moose do have a pretty impressively high kill count. Like, moose can be quite deadly. Oh, you be careful. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes she'll hear these conversations from upstairs and she'll be like, what are you talking about? Or sometimes Eclipse will, reach out to her and be like, your presence is requested. We have a very important question for you. And I was like, oh, what question is that? It's about Zambonis. Oh, okay, no, that's fair. Oh, the Alaska State Troopers. Oh, never forget. Okay, so we got these guys here who need to... Okay, you're a friendship evolution, though, so we're gonna ignore you for the moment. No, she worked the morning shift, so she's back from work now. I think Sentret evolves at, like, level 15 or something remarkably low. Is ReZero the worst world to get isekai'd to? You know, the world itself seems fine as long as you don't get involved in witches. If you find yourself linked to witches, then it's not the best time. Okay, that seems needlessly cruel. The Zamboni operator... Oh, okay, sorry. I misread that and interpreted it as that the operator died by Zamboni, but they didn't. Okay, well that's fine. Centret, and you're holding a rare candy. You know what? That's not the end of the world. You can hang on to it. We'll just put you here. And now we just grab our creatures one by one. Is Konosuba the best? I mean, there's like a Devil King. Like, that's not ideal. I guess it depends on what, you know, what superpower or super item you bring with you. As we know, don't bring Aqua. She's pretty useless. It seems to be hard to really carve out a niche in that town. It's like basically all that's available to do is either adventuring, which is very dangerous because all of the low-level quests in the area have, you know, been wiped out basically. Or you know, be a day laborer, you know, do construction. And that can be fine work. You know, personally, I can't, you know, unless they're gonna fix my bum leg when they isekai me, I can't be doing construction, realistically. All right, there's a Zatu done. Doink. Alright, Spinnerack. I have no idea what level Spinnerack evolves at. Oh, we named it Charlotte? That's cute. Like from that book about the pig. You know, Animal Farm. I don't know, it seemed like the, I don't know, the mad inventor, I don't know what else to call him, but that recurring character from Konosuba, it seemed like he was living a pretty good life up until, you know, up until he wasn't. Justice for Aqua? Do we have Aqua defenders in chat? Oh dear. I have enraged the Axis cult. They're gonna force me to eat soap. That's no good. Alright, there's Ariados or Ariados. It don't matter. It's all made up. She's the goddess of uselessness. And I believe also the goddess of cheap booze. I believe that's accurate. I believe you'll find no fault in my reasoning. I don't know that she's the goddess of screaming. I don't think that's... She screams a lot, but I don't think she's the goddess of it. That's like saying she breathes. Is she the goddess of breathing? No, she just breathes. Am I the goddess of anything? No, there's a couple issues with that. For one, I'm not worshipped. For two... Wrong gender. Although this game, you know, Pokemon logic, you know, Arceus is genderless, so I don't quite know how that works. Best not to think of it, perhaps. Early game Pokemon. What do I like early game? Like within the first couple of routes? I don't know. Like Shinx in Diamond and Pearl's pretty good. That's a fine early game Pokemon, I think. That gets, you know, even better as the game goes on. You know, the Nidorans are pretty early game in most of these games, so you can get, like, Nidorino or Nidoking. Like... Yeah, before the first gym. You know, Shinx is pretty good. Shinx might be the best of, like, the non-starter early types. I mean, I guess Pikachu's early game, right? You can catch it in Viridian Forest, so... You know, you gotta consider that. I guess early game Electrics just tend to be pretty good. I don't know enough about Johto. Yeah, only on a randomizer, I think, is Bagon early game. Unless they did some weird crap in Alola that I'm not familiar with. Oh, I haven't read that yet. I'm sorry, Eclipse. I will look at it. Yeah, Eclipse was telling me about a Pokemon game called Run and Bun, which is supposed to be like Kaizo but hard. And if you've ever heard of Pokemon Kaizo, that's already supposed to be quite hard. So, needless to say, I'm not particularly interested in checking it out. You know, that said, we are getting... in Alola, you can get a Salamence level 10. That's illegal. That shouldn't be allowed. I don't quite know where that terminology comes from. I don't know if they have like a Baniri as your starter, if that's the idea. I know nothing. I only learned of its name today, so I got nothing. But it's apparently very difficult. And while I don't mind a challenge every now and again, I don't necessarily always want to seek it out. We like to play in a little more of a chill fashion, unless that switch flips in my brain and I decide, no, we have to 100% this. We gotta do all the things. Which is more or less what we're doing here in Pokemon. I kind of want to do all the things here in FireRed. At one point I was holding that hostage, like, basically saying, you know, if we want to do any ROM hacks, we gotta eat our vegetables first. I'm a lot more open to just doing a ROM hack. But we might have to incentivize it a little bit. Like, I might do the lame thing and be like, once we reach this white whale, 100 followers, I might set some more reasonable goals, like every 10 followers, since, you know, they don't come in that hot and frequently, right? Maybe at 110 followers, we can play Too Many Types or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think those Kaizo games and I think other difficulty hacks also have it such that you can't really, like, power level your way around around your problems. Like, there's usually, like, a level cap, and it's not just like an honor system. It's like, no, it's coded into the game. Like, you can't exceed this level until you accomplish, you know, this feat. Is a ROM hack a rom-com about cybersecurity experts? I don't think so. It's a good one, but I don't think that's true. We might have evolved that horsey for no reason. That's okay. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. No, a ROM hack, you know, ROM, read-only memory, the format of which the games are stored in, and hack, yes, from Steins Gate, exactly, Daru. He is a hack. So it's, you know, any ROM hack is basically any... I think the more familiar, like, in PC gaming terms, you'd probably just call it a mod, honestly. Where does a ROM hack begin and a mod end? I don't know. But they're basically cut from the same cloth. Basically the same thing. So yeah, anytime you change aspects of the game and then, you know, boot it up. No, because plenty of mods are not authorized, so calling it a mod doesn't necessarily make it more blessed in the eyes of the developers or the copyright IP holders. No. I think it's more platform based. I think it has everything to do with, you just call them mods on PCs, and if you're looking at, like, a Super Nintendo game, you're probably gonna call it a hack. Is that fair? I don't know, but that's the way it is. See, so everybody goes on and on about Cynthia in Diamond and Pearl. Call me crazy, but I don't remember her being that hard. And maybe I did it wrong, or maybe I was over-leveled or whatever, but I don't remember that being particularly challenging. Like, if you want to talk about, like, battles in Pokemon that I think of as being challenging, hell, I would say for where you are in the game, Brawly in Ruby and Sapphire is really difficult. Brawly was you know, for the resources and the level you are at, Brawly is quite difficult. I mean, it's easy enough to level up and get past it, and, you know, it's done, but, like... That's what I remember. Yeah, maybe there's some, like, weirdness where it's like if Diamond and Pearl was your first game, or, if, I don't know. It's hard to speculate. I don't know. That's one meme the Pokemon community likes that you know, it's a fine theme, the Cynthia champion theme, but no, it doesn't cause any trauma or PTSD in my ears. I don't know. Steven's like regular difficult. Like, he's not easy, but you can get through him fine. I don't think Steven's that bad to fight. Obviously, it's been a while since I fought him, but I don't remember him being that bad. Is anyone difficult in Pokemon? Like I said, Brawly, and maybe to a lesser extent, Watson. Like, for where you are in the game, like, when you reach those gyms, they can be challenging if you haven't been careful. Yeah, I do kind of remember, and especially so with our team here that, of course, Bomb thinks is a perfect team and cannot be improved. There is a rematch of the Pokemon League in this game that we will eventually take on. I don't know if we'll do that this episode. We can certainly at least give it a shot. And they can be quite challenging. Yeah, the Battle Frontier in Emerald, and I'm sure it shows up in later games, that's really challenging because you actually kind of have to get really sweaty about Pokemon and kind of have to know, like, the meta and, like, the hidden stats and all this nonsense. I mean, at least if you want to make it easier on yourself. You know, I think I got a couple of silver symbols in Emerald just by hitting my head against the wall enough times, but I never got any gold symbols. Never fought Red in, you know, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or Gold Silver Crystal. But he's quite high level, so I believe it. Okie dokie. We've got some more candy. Do-do-do-do. Flamethrower's a good move. We like Flamethrower. You can know that instead of Ember. Am I ever going to use you in battle? Probably not, but, you know, I'd like you to have moves that you could use if I ever did decide to use you in battle. I would bring him with me for egg hatching, because it's like a thing that, like, if you have Flame Body or Magma Armor as your ability, It makes eggs hatch faster, but I don't think this game had that. I think they only started that in Emerald, and then Gen 4 and beyond. I think Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, and Leaf Green, they miss out on fast egg hatching, unfortunately. Gen 2 needs to be beat this year. Maybe. Maybe we could look at that. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. Given how long it's taken us to do FireRed, you know, maybe it won't be till after summer or something like that. You know, we might sleep on it for a minute more. You know, it's been 25 years since Gen 2 came out. What's another 6 months to a year, right? Is Pokemon a good world to be isekai'd in? I think you could do a lot worse. Yeah, I think it's a decent one. I think the stakes are pretty low. You know, you don't have to become the Pokemon League champion. You can just frolic with the Pokemon. That's true. There are giant Beedrill. And I mean, if you've seen the first episode of the original Pokemon, like even, you know, the birds are Pokemon. You know, if you anger the Spearow, you know, you're gonna have a bad time. So you do have to be a little careful. But as long as you're not a complete dum-dum like Ash, you're probably fine. Yeah, maybe stay out of the forest. Or at least bring Repel. Which Pokemon gives the best hugs? I don't know, Teddy Ursa, maybe? Right up until Ursa Ring finds out what you're doing and then he mauls you to death? I don't know. Beware? I don't know Beware super well. I don't know what Gen Beware is, but it's one of the gens I'm less familiar with. It's Gen 5 and above, which is kind of a blank spot in my mind. I know it's the pink one. I don't know, I feel like an Eevee would be good to hug. I feel like a Cyndaquil would be good to hug, so long as it's not actively on fire at that moment. I feel like a Torchic would be good to hug. It'd be like a warm... I think most of the fluffier fire types would be really good, like Growlithe would be good to hug, that'd be nice and cozy. But again, it's like, you gotta be careful, because if they decide they're suddenly done being hugged, then you have to call the fire department. And that's not ideal. Oh wow, Jumpluff is a lot lower level Pokemon than I thought. I thought that was gonna have to go to level 35 or something. That's interesting. Dreepy? Yeah, I don't know that one very well. Snorlax might be good to hug. I don't know, yeah, there's a lot of, like, really fluffy Pokemon that are probably... You know, I'll tell you what, Flareon looks like it'd be pretty good to hug. Again, talking about the fluffier fire types. Yeah, there is a tea Pokemon, but it's like a ghost that just kind of lives in a teacup. So it's not actually tea. They just kind of call it tea. Elephant. I'm Elephant the elephant. Good. I'm glad I gave it a name that would make me laugh weeks after the fact. That's good. Dragonite's derpy. Yeah, I don't know if it's good to hug or not. I mean, I don't think most lizards are probably that great to hug. But that's just me. I'd prefer something fluffy. I don't know, is a Mareep's wool good to hug? Maybe. And Flaffy. Entei. Entei would be good to hug, I feel like. I don't know if Suicune or Raikou would be. I feel like Entei's top tier hug. This Pokemon has the habit of hugging its companions. Many trainers have left this world after their spines were squashed by its hug. Well, there you go. Can't really argue with that, I suppose. Although I would argue the best hug is a hug that doesn't crush your spine. So maybe Beware doesn't give the best hugs because it lacks control. Yeah, it's like, what's his name, Lenny? Or... I don't remember. I don't remember the character's name in Of Mice of Men. Alright. Move you. Alright, what do we got left? We got Swinub. And we've got Chansey and a bunch of eggs. We gotta get a couple more Eevees, apparently. Tyrogue I'm not looking forward to. That's gonna suck a little bit. I think we just picked up the Lax Incense, so I think we can get the Why Not egg. I think that'll be okay. Puff is a pretty fluffy sounding name. I can't argue with that. But, you know, it might be like how Greenland isn't green. You know, maybe it's a misdirection. I don't know. It's kind of all about, you know, how good's your marketing. Would I try and hug Ash's Charizard? Maybe. I mean, I don't think it'd be that good to hug. I will say, Ash's Charizard has more of a problem with Ash than with other people. So it might be okay for you, a person that isn't Ash, to hug it. Also, I think they got over their differences eventually, so, like, I don't know. Peter, Paul, and Mary would not sing about a giant scaly lizard. They might, though. They might. No, do not hug the Slugma. Absolutely not. No. Don't do it. It's literally a lava monster. You hug it, you will have 5th degree burns. I know burns only go up to the 3rd degree. Nah. They skipped the made-up 4th degree and they had to invent a 5th degree for it. Do not. Do not the Slugma. Do not. Alright, so I think it'll take a lot of rare candies, but I think we can still evolve Chansey just with rare candies and not have to actually do any friendship training, which might seem really lame, and it very well possibly is. But we're doing it anyway. And then we gotta go hatch some more eggs. So we'll go live on the island for a little bit. Egg Island. I forget which island that is. 4? Is that 4 Island? Might be 4 Island. Might be 5 Island. It's one of those. But we're almost at the end of this grind for today, so we can actually do something a little different. I've only been doing this for an hour. And that's a long time to just sit here and menu, but hey, actually training is, like, much slower. So, pick your poison. And you know the darndest thing is, because, of course, we're not actually completing the pokedex. Professor Oak is not going to be that impressed with us. He's just going to say, wow, you've caught a lot. Catch some more. We'll be like, gee, thanks. Would if I could. This is the RuneScape grind set, honestly. We are... I don't know which skill has the most, like, tedious menuing. Maybe fletching? I mean, we're not having to run back and forth to the bank, really. So, yeah, this is probably the equivalent of fletching in RuneScape. Turning logs into arrowheads, or not arrowheads, but... turning logs into arrow shafts, attaching feathers to the headless to create headless arrows, smithing a bunch of arrowheads to attach them to the headless arrows. It all comes back to RuneScape in the end. Look, Professor Oak has tenure, so there's really not a whole lot we can do about him. He is the authority in his subject, and so if he says this 10-year-old is qualified to assist me in my studies, you know, we can't really stop him. Alright, now just in case I am mistaken somehow, we are going to save here. so that if we somehow reach level 100 and it doesn't evolve, which won't happen, but in case it does, we can go back. It looks like we might have gotten a head start on this. It was already approaching us, so we must have had Chansey in our party at some point. So it already likes us a little bit. And basically what happens is every time you use items on it, it likes you a little bit more. And rare candies are indeed an item, so... hopefully before level 50, we'll get something. See, I think this is such a niche area of study at this point in time that there really isn't a board to answer to. I think Professor investigated himself and said, "Yep, this checks out," and that's all there is to it. I don't think there's a lot of oversight in this field. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more oversight in the battling. Like, the Pokemon League seems to have, like, some fairly well-established rules in how to do battle. But it seems like actually knowing what these Pokemon are and what they do and how they work, it seems like that's a lot more niche area of expertise. I know, but yet the game starts out by saying there are many mysteries surrounding the world of Pokemon. Basically, I don't know. They just never bothered to ask. They're like, hey, you know those Pokemon that we've been living with for thousands of years? How do they work? I don't know. That's a good question. Sam, look into it. And that's how Sam Oak became the first Pokemon professor. The end. And then he did some time travel with his great-grandnephew. I think that's canon. I don't know if the movies are canon. Yeah, I don't know if, you know, they have nurses, but, you know, do they even have germ theory in Pokemon? I don't know. Hey, Chansey evolves. Yeah, solid JJ. Those videos are pretty solid, you might say. They're all right. I enjoy them. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna dupe back up to 99 rare candies. And then we're going to do eggs for a bit. I don't think Ash was doing the flirting. I think Latias was doing the flirting, and Ash, like most men, was like, I don't understand what's happening. Is she into me, or is she just Canadian and being polite? It's impossible to know. I'm not touching that. We're not... No. We're not having any Vaporeon-centric conversations. In fact, we're just gonna... We're gonna get rid of that. I don't want to have those conversations because I don't want to get banned. So I do not invite those conversations. Oh, we're almost through this grind. Oh my goodness. Alright, 90. That's plenty. Alright. I wanna be done with this bit. Let's toss... Sure, we'll send the mail to the PC. I don't really care. Mail, take, no, yes. Mail, take, no, yes. Mail, take, no, yes. Okay. Let's get some of our primary... I don't know if it's a Unix system or what Bill runs all this on. Bill and Lynette and you know, all those others, which I only realized recently, like Lynette, like her name is like kind of a pun because it's got LAN in it, like LAN, like local area network, and that's kind of funny. Bill is the guy who invented the Pokemon storage system. We met him, and he was temporarily... He was kind of in a... he was kind of reenacting his favorite Jeff Goldblum movie when we found him. And we had to transform him back into a human. That's a true thing that happened in this game. Yeah. Windows 11 is quite the thing. I don't think anyone's super thrilled with how Microsoft rolled it out, but it's what we've got. Okay. What are we doing? We are going to, I think, now go to the Egg Island, make some more eggs, hatch some more eggs, fill out some more slots in our pokedex, and, I don't know. I mean, how far are we? What is our completion at? 155. Okay. What do we need to get to? How did Jeff Goldblum transform back? I don't know. I've never actually seen The Fly. As far as I know, he doesn't. Because it's like a horror movie. I don't think anyone lives happily ever after in The Fly. But, I'm not certain. Maybe Bill actually was a Pokemon the whole time, and maybe that was just like his cloaking not working. It's, you know, no less improbable than anything else that's been happening. Alright, so we're just gonna... I know we just put all of you back in here, but we're just gonna pop you in this box so we know where you are. Okay, we are grabbing Wobbuffet. And do we have the Lax Incense? We do. Yes, it's here. Okay. Sweet. Do I like any horror movies? I don't seek them out. Alien was pretty good. Alien might be the best one that I can recall. Gosh, what? No, it's lax as in lazy. It's like, and I don't quite how an incense that makes you like lazy. I don't know. Maybe it's insinuating that Wobbuffet is a high-strung kind of guy. I don't really get it myself. Yeah, like Snorlax, exactly. But yeah, the implication seems to be that somehow this incense that makes you a little more of a chill Lebowski kind of guy is alright, you gotta stop saying incendiary things, Square. This is, like, I'm warning you. I don't want to mute you, but don't say, like, weird crap that's gonna get me in trouble. Alright? I will mute you. And now what, we just run around and wait for egg? I think so. Do I have to go in and out of buildings to make that happen, or is just going on and off screen enough? I do not remember. No, for breeding Pokemon in this game, if you want a Snorlax to have a Munchlax egg, it needs a full incense. And then Meryl, to make an Azumarill, needs a C incense. There are a bunch of other incenses. I believe there is an odd incense for Mr. Mime and Mime Jr. Those are the ones I just knew offhand. It's like every time they introduce a new baby form, they have to retcon why it didn't make the baby form when breeding was always in the game. And so they had to say, it's because of this incense we discovered. No, because... So Pikachu doesn't have one, and that is fine, because Pikachu... There were no baby Pokemon when Pikachu was introduced. Basically, all of the Pokemon that had baby Pokemon, like... You know, when breeding was introduced in Gen 2, like, none of them need an incense. But, like, anything else that came afterwards pretty much does. Like, I think Badoo, I think there's some sort of, like, floral or rose incense or something, and that is how you get Badoo from Rosalia. I don't know. Alright, we've got a full complement of eggs. We got a full half dozen. Which, calling something a full half doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it's fine. We're just gonna go for a little jog. We're gonna run around here with these eggs and hatch them. The fire types are the ones burning incense? You would think so. I don't know if they're burning the incense, like... Does it have the little images next to the bag? Can you see it? Yeah. So, like, this is the sea incense, and I don't know, I guess it's, like, in some sort of little pot that it's, like, in a diffuser that diffuses the scent. I don't know. I was watching a video once where somebody was arguing, not for dozenal, but for, like a sexamal or a hexamal system, a base 6 system, as being the most convenient, the most based system, and that everyone should switch to it. And, you know, just based on the way we tend to group things, it would make a lot of math easier, but we've been on base 10 this long. I don't, no. Just no. It's hard enough to get people to think in hexadecimal for computers. Like... That's been hard enough to get people to latch on to. We don't need to complicate it further. Surely one of these eggs will hatch soon. At least this music's good. Buena, 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 buena. The fact that we gave 12 its own name, you know, that's true. You know, maybe we're all pining for the dozenal system. Oh god, but, you know, imagine, you know, we already have the Dewey Decimal system. They're gonna have to revamp it for the Dewey Dozenal system. That's gonna be a mess. Librarians are gonna hate you if we switch to dozenal. Or maybe libraries will be like the one place left in the world that, like, clings to decimal with all its being. If only we had 6 fingers. I suppose I could be riding my bike, but then we'd be listening to the bike music instead of the island music, and that's not as good. Is the Dewey system old, like, have computers rendered the Dewey Decimal system largely obsolete? I have no opinion on this. Interesting if true. he just running. It's more a cultural thing. Alright, what do we got here? Ah, Togepi! We got the Togepi! We're gonna have to evolve that. Yeah, your name is, Omelet. Omelet the Togepi. I probably spelled omelet wrong. That's okay. That's how he spells it. It's fine. I realize it should be 2 T's and an E at the end. I don't care. I'm sticking with it. Oh, sure, yeah, the way the categories were decided on with Dewey Decimal, or... Yeah, Eurocentric, or, you know, only makes sense in, you know, the British Library or something. So what else do we have? I mean, I think we should have a Pichu. We probably have an Elekid egg. We might have a Smoochum egg. I'm not sure if we have the Cleffa egg or if the Cleffa egg is in the PC. Actually, as a matter of fact, we should probably swap Togepi real quick. Well, actually, no. No, we shouldn't, because I'm pretty sure Togepi to Togetic is a friendship evolution. So actually, I think we're better off keeping Togepi in our party and running around with him, because he'll get a little happier as we do that. Yeah. And that means we can use less rare candies, and that would be ideal. So, Togepi, you're sticking with us for a moment. Is there a book Pokemon? Not that I can recall. It's not to say there isn't one. There's a gosh dang keychain Pokemon after all. Where Cleffa doesn't get a name. We are swapping Cleffa for something else. Alright, grab you. Cleffa is a cutie. It's a little star spot. Oh, I guess now we've got the Why Not egg in here, which does take a little while to hatch. I kind of remember. So yeah, different Pokemon have like different groups, gestation periods. I don't know what you would call them, but they've got different tiers as to how long it's going to take for the gosh dung egg to hatch. No, there's plenty of reading in Pokemon. Like, there's a lot of words that I had never heard before that I only learned about or had first read in Pokemon. Like, even though it's a game designed for kids, sometimes there's some, like, weird vocabulary, like, aplomb. That's a word that shows up in, like, the beginning of Ruby and Sapphire. You pulled it off with aplomb, and I'm like, what does that mean? I am 10 and confused. I have never heard this phrase before. And I still so scarcely hear that phrase. But I'm at least aware of it. No, Pokemon doesn't use kanji. Famously, it's like Pokemon is anti-kanji, so that it remains accessible to kids. I don't know if that's changed in later games, but at least in the early games that was true. Also, kanji takes up a crap ton of memory, so it was probably also equally just like a convenient, limitation. There's Smoochum. Do they have libraries? They have bookshelves. There's a little reading nook here at the Pokemon Center. There's a Pokemon Journal. The Spring Pokemon Contest Grand Champion is Daisy Oak of Pallet Town. Look at that. Look, there's so much to read. So, there is stuff to read. I don't know that I've ever seen a library. Bomb says there is one, and I will take Bomb's word for it. I just can't recall one. A library specifically. There are schools. There's, schools in just about every Pokemon game, I think. Is aplomb the kanji of English? It's definitely a word you don't hear a lot. Well, they did, they had that, Pokemon Fire Emblem game, right? What was that called? Pokemon Conquest? I think that's as close as you can get to, a period piece for Pokemon. I don't know. Is Legends Arceus a period piece? Because it's got, old style, it doesn't have modern Pokemon centers and PC technology. It's got, the Pokemon farm. When you catch a Pokemon, you send it to a farm upstate. So yeah, I mean, as long as Legends ZA did well financially, and I bet it did, give it another 5 years, we'll probably get another Legends game that does something. Or, because it's Game Freak, they'll just do whatever's easiest and prints them the most money with the least amount of effort. Well, it's... we have these hospitals, and those certainly work, but there's a lot of herbal remedies for reviving Pokemon and for healing their status ailments and bringing their HP back up. And there's lots of berries that they can eat, and you can turn those berries into, juices and kind of rudimentary potions. You got options. You don't need the... the Nurse Joys and the Chanseys to do it all for you. Yeah, I mean, I guess Legends Arceus is a bit Apothecary Diaries. There's a bit less kidnapping, thankfully, which is good. A bit less murder, which is good. There's a villain you gotta defeat in Arceus, and I didn't really get far enough to really learn what the villain is and what their motivation is and what they seek to accomplish, but it's all there. No, we're still hatching eggs. Okay. Well, we'll just keep running. Aren't Pokeballs kidnapping? Well, if you're part of, which game was it? Was it Diamond and Pearl, or was it one of the later games? Maybe it was Black and White. The whole thing with Black and White, yeah, was that, the evil organization in that game was like a... I'm gonna draw the equivalency that everybody else always draws. They're like PETA, basically. And, they're, really high-strung Pokemon rights activists. And they want to set all the Pokemon free, and no Pokemon should have, they should overthrow the yoke of oppression and become untrainable. But yet they have trained Pokemon that they use to take on the other trainers, so it's like, you know, it's a little half-baked and hypocritical. And also I haven't played Black and White, so I don't know, maybe their plan actually makes complete and total sense. But yeah. Well, of course, PETA famously had a parody of Super Meat Boy called Super Tofu Boy, because they don't like it when you eat meat. And the music for Super Tofu Boy was donated to PETA by one Thomas Tallarico. How many eggs do I have? 2. Yeah, and that's not even a meme. That's just a fact that Tommy Tallarico did music for the PETA parody game of Super Meat Boy. That's just a fact. This song was also written by Tommy Tallarico, of course, but, you know, the man doesn't want you to know that. The man being Nintendo, not Tommy Tallarico. He'll tell you about it all day long. First American to work on Sonic, don't you know? Yeah, that might be one of his most recent credits. Like, between that and... Oh, what was the one he, like, maybe did a little bit of? Like, was it Sonic and the Black Knight or something? I don't think he's done much since then. You know, except that Tommy Tallarico invented Roblox and owns Roblox, of course. I don't know how they coded it, but in Pokemon Crystal, I believe, when you first encounter the daycare, you get an egg for free. And it's like, basically a random baby Pokemon. Like, you don't know which baby Pokemon you're gonna get. So there's like some sort of like RNG to determine which Pokemon it is. And it also has, I think, increased shiny odds. So, like, it's, like, not that hard to, like, just reset your game. I think it's got, like, a 1 in 64 chance to be shiny or something, which is, like, loads better than the base rate of, like, 1 in 8,000. Oh, don't give Tommy ideas. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to copyright claim it. But Mr. Bomber Guy is pretty thorough. I did see the Any Austin video where he asked a bunch of people how many trees there were in Skyrim, and H. Bomber Guy was the closest, and Todd Howard was there, and he gave a very Todd Howard answer. That was a good video. What do I think of the creator of Skyrim? What, the head of Bethesda? What do I think of Todd Howard? I don't know. I've never met him. He seems like a chill guy. Just, you know, he seems to be pretty chill with being a meme, which is good. You know, he can laugh at himself. He has a sense of humor. I don't know how much input Mr. Todd had into Skyrim. You know, I don't know. He's pretty high up the chain. I don't know how involved he gets in the game development these days, or if he's just, you know, a figurehead like position. Alright, what do we got here? There's Elekid. Alright. He's got a little two prongs. And that makes sense, because he's Japanese, and they don't have the 3-prong plugs like we have in North America. So here's dumb information you never asked for, but you're getting anyway. The US and Japan run on nearly the same power grid. We run 120 volts. They run 100 volts, or like 110. But yeah, all of their plugs are 2-prong. They don't have the grounding plug that we have. They don't have the 3-prong. Which is interesting, because, you know, we didn't used to, but then in like the 50s or 60s, we upped our code requirements and said, no, you have to ground everything. But, like, not all devices you buy necessarily are grounded. There's a bunch more nonsense about it, but it always made me wonder. It's like, it would be cool if, like, Elekids in different regions had different plugs on their head. Did I watch the new Todd in the Shadows video? I don't think so. I think the last one I saw was his worst list for the year. And I saw it before it got, like, taken down. I think it's back up now. I don't know if he had to change it. I don't know if the Swifties made him redact any of his statements. Alright, we need 2 Eevee eggs. I just named the Eevee E. That's good. It's a good name. Well, didn't mean to actually run into the Pokemon Center. Okay. 2 more. Two Eevee eggs. Just do a bit of running on the beach. That's true. He might be blinking furiously, but you'll never know. Because he's in the shadows. Truly a pained existence he lives. Frolic in the beach. Frolic in the puddles. We're having a nice splashy time in the puddles. You know, this is good. Ah, man, still no Eevee egg. Come on. I need a Jolteon and a Vaporeon. And we can't get Espeon or Umbreon in this game because there is no day-night cycle. And Togepi is still in our party, so it's gaining happiness by us running about. And then we have to get a bunch of Tyrogue, and that's going to be a pain. It's going to be really dumb to evolve Tyrogue into what we need. I'm not... Well, it won't be so hard to get a Hitmonchan. Or a Hitmonlee, I forget which one we already have, but It's not hard to get one or the other. But getting Hitmontop, we kind of either need to hit the genetic lottery or we need to do some training. Some careful training. Hack in a Leafeon? Yeah, I'll get right on it. I'll get right on that. I don't think you get a tax credit for the Eevees, no. I don't think the Eevees are an endangered species, so I don't think there's any like incentives for bringing more into this world. You know, the ones that are probably endangered are the legendaries, and they don't seem to breed in captivity, so not a whole lot we can do. The two don't seem to like each other very much. Yeah, that's fair. How do taxes work in Pokemon? I don't know. I mean, in Gold and Silver, in Gen 2, there's the most classic of tax, the mom tax. Alright, we got one of them. Give me that egg. Where, you can opt to have Mother collect some of your winnings after every battle and hold on to it. And then sometimes she spends it on stuff that you would like. But, aside from that, you know, there's never been a government agency asking to audit my winnings in Pokemon battles. Yeah, perhaps. You know, I almost wonder if, like, how bad inflation is as an issue, because Meowth exists in this game and they have a move called Payday, and that just seems to generate money from out of nowhere. But I think because it's not a very powerful move, not a lot of people use it, and so I think inflation doesn't get too bad. Oh, I'm sure somebody has made it so that there is a cost to using the Pokemon Center. I am sure. That seems like a very basic thing to try and do. That's very, I don't know. That's just a change that makes sense if you're trying to make Pokemon harder. No more infinite heals. Okay, Hitmonlee we have. So, I don't actually remember which one needs the high defense versus which one needs the high attack. I probably will need to look that up. Game Theory looked at the Meowth Payday situation once. Okay. Well, it turns out I'm not the most creative person in the world. Or that Payday causing gross inflation is not the most unique thought in the world, at least. It's a conclusion a lot of people would come to. I think Eevee is one that takes a long time to hatch for some reason. I'm not sure if that's true, but it feels like it could be true. And then, Tyrogue I feel like is better. I don't have basis for that, but I don't know. It feels like Tyrogue should be pretty easy to hatch for some reason. Yeah, I don't know if lithium-ion has... Well, maybe lithium-ion has something to do with it, because Elekid took an awfully long time to hatch, but... I don't know, that might have been coincidence. Like, Pichu, I feel like, hatched pretty darn quick. I don't know. I do not know. Of course, we don't get Magby in this game because there are no Magmar. Those are a Leaf Green exclusive. Gotta buy them all. So we won't be seeing that. Okay, in fact, let me just quick look up here. Bulbapedia. Tyrogue. Alright. So, if Tyrogue has... If Tyrogue has higher attack, it becomes a Hitmonlee. If it has higher defense, it becomes a Hitmonchan. If its attack and defense are equal, and that's the one that's going to be a bit of a bugger to find out, it's going to be Hitmontop. That's going to be the one that's really annoying to get, I think. Hitmontop. I think basically we're looking for a Pokemon with, like, a neutral natures and IVs that aren't too far out of whack. We might have to do some EV training if we find one that's, like, close. Can you buy Pokemon? Not usually. In this game, you kind of can. There's a game corner, which operates, you know, much like many traditional Japanese gambling parlors, and where you buy tokens that you can use at the casino in the slot machines, and then you can take your winnings to a little shack next door and exchange them for prizes you'd actually want. And that does include Pokemon. Of course, this casino is run by Team Rocket and is a criminal enterprise, so... you know, that's a little shady. I can't think of a time, and somebody please feel free to correct me if they know, but I feel like the only instances you can buy Pokemon are from casinos, which are always run by criminals. I don't think there's ever been a time where you could purchase a Pokemon, and it was above the board. Sometimes you get Pokemon gifted to you. But that's quite different, of course. No loot boxes. Not yet. Don't give Game Freak ideas. I don't think they would at this point, given how some of the European Union countries have cracked down on loot boxes. As a matter of fact, if I understand correctly, the European Union laws on gambling in video games are actually why you don't even see casinos in even remakes of games that once contained casinos, and they end up getting a like T for teen or otherwise like much higher age rating than Pokemon would normally aim for. Yeah, I suppose there is the guy who sells you a Magikarp for $500. That's true. That's kind of a scam, though, too. Like, he's not a criminal per se, as far as I know. I don't think he's a member of Team Rocket. But he's also like, oh yeah, Magikarp, it's this rare fish. You're gonna want it. So, like, there's something unsavory about it. Alright, how are we doing on Eevee eggs here? It will take some time. It will take some time. Of course it will. That's fine. I've got time. Got all the time. Well, not all the time, but I have enough time for this egg to hatch. I think we've been running around this island for about an hour now, too. This is riveting stuff, this. Yeah, he's more a small-time, you know... I don't think he has the backing of the Pokemon Yakuza. I don't think... Not that I'm aware of. I mean, in the Pokemon anime, it's clear that he's not working for Team Rocket, because he shows up, and he swindles one of the members of Team Rocket. He tricks James into purchasing a Magikarp. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the context. I don't know if they were like a carnival or like a festival or something, but yeah, he had like a stall set up where he could try and move Magikarp product onto people. And said, "Oh yeah, this stuff's very rare. I mean, it's got magic in its name after all, so, you know, you can trust it." That probably was, yeah, in the anime. I'm sure that was the comparison they were trying to draw there. To the Japanese fishing minigame present at all summer festivals of any worth. I don't think he was using a paper scoop, but I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched the anime. what would be my favorite portion of a Japanese summer festival, at least as depicted in anime? I mean, definitely the food stalls. You know, that I mean, basically, whenever there's like a fair in town, like you know, like the state fair, or I don't think they hold the state fair here, but the county fair or whatever, which is not the best equivalent, but it's probably as close as we get. Or the street fair. Street fair is probably a little closer. You know, I'm mostly there for the junk food, the fried food. I don't really do carnival games, and fireworks are nice and all, but I don't know. Fireworks don't really excite me. You know, I'll watch them if they're there. I don't know. Would our festivals be more fun if people dressed up in maybe not kimonos, because... Or maybe kimonos, I don't know. But if we had some sort of outfit, an outfit for the festival? No, we don't. We don't have cool flowery robes to wear to the street fair. I mean, I don't. If you do, I mean, hey, all the power to you. Be the change you want to see in the world. I never have. Maybe I would enjoy it more if I did. You know? Farmer overalls. I mean, I think most people just kind of come as they are. So I think most people go in jeans and a t-shirt. If I'm coming straight from work, I'm probably wearing a dress shirt. I'm wearing a button-up. If I'm not coming straight from work, I'm probably wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Or some other similarly patterned buttoned shirt. Because that's what I do. I've got some t-shirts that I wear. Around the house, mostly. Yeah, are the yukatas, are they dry clean only, do you suppose? I bet they are. I bet you can't just throw it on tumble wash hot and call it a day. That would be a problem. Alright, come on, egg. Oh. Neither Eevee nor Tyrogue wants to appear for us. They don't even want scents on them. Interesting. So, douse it with Febreze before and after, I suppose. Just, you know, be careful that you get the unscented Febreze. Hey, this smells like fresh linens. You owe me 10,000 yen. And I think this here if you can believe it, this might be the clearest evidence as to why I think a lot of people play Pokemon fast-forwarded these days. If they're playing on an emulator. I don't really have the music queued up to really engage in fast-forward. I figure we're having a nice time chatting / suffering together. And, you know, I kind of like this 90-second loop of music. It's one of the better, you know, loops of music in the Pokemon world. Don't wear perfume or cologne. I like to wear cologne. Just say, keep my deposit. I know it's gonna smell like yakisoba, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. I just promise I won't stain it. It occasionally moves. It should hatch soon. You hear that? It should hatch soon. Oh yeah, lots of celebrities do a cologne. I do always wonder, like, how much input do the... You know, is it just slap my name on it, or am I actually helping say, yeah, this smells good, I like this one? You know, because, like... Especially, like, ladies. Like, lady celebrities will often have a perfume. Like, Ariana Grande has a perfume that I think the wife actually is pretty keen on. You don't think an umpire is a celebrity? Oh, well. I think you sell him too short. He's a sports player. Granted, I couldn't name you a single umpire. Granted, I'm the wrong person to ask. Like, I can't name... Like, I know Ohtani's a baseball player right now, but... If you ask me to name a second that's currently playing... I don't know, is Mauer? He was on the Twins, right? Is he still play? And if you asked me to name a third, I'd probably give up. Okay, he's like the main founder. Okay, so he's a little more involved than your typical celebrity endorsement. He doesn't? Okay, well, shows how much I know. Then yeah, even though I've seen a baseball game in the last year, probably the only player I can name is Ohtani. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. Yeah, usually refs should be seen and heard only when necessary, right? Oh, did you see that that ludicrous display the other night? There was a goalie fight in hockey. Who was it? It was like, I forget who they were playing, but it was like the San Jose Sharks, I think. The player from whoever the Sharks were playing, like, came across the ice and started tussling with with the goalie. It's been like 5 years since the last goalie fight in the NHL. So it was pretty impressive. I need to start doing that, because sometimes the life will turn off the hockey game if we're like losing. I think I just need to start responding with they're having a laugh. Well, with goalie fights, they happen so infrequently, because I don't know, maybe it's kind of like a big deal? I don't know. You kind of want your goalie to stay on your side of the ice. Oh, interesting. Tyrogue hatched first. Oh, Eevee takes a long time to hatch. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Oh, what are your stats like? Are you gonna grow up to be a Hitmonchan or a Hitmonlee? Oh, you look kind of equal. I don't know what a Hardy Nature does. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna save. I did ask, like, so can they put the goalie in the penalty box for crossing over the ice? Because that seems like a pretty clear and flagrant violation. And I think that doesn't typically happen. For whatever reason. I think if the goalies are fighting, I think they just let them hug it out with their fists. Oh, no. Your attack is higher. And these guys evolve at level 20. Oh, well, it's equalized again. Okay. Maybe it's fine. No, it's not fine. Oh, no, it's equalized again. Oh, man. Let's get this guy to level 19 anyway. He's close. Like, maybe we just EV train him in defense. He's gonna have to earn 2 defense points. Because, yeah, as it is right now, I'm just gonna save here. And we'll reset. But I think as it is right now, higher attack, he is... Well, I don't even need to... I know I can see the numbers, but... You know, if we were to evolve him, I'll just demonstrate, he is going to evolve into Hitmonlee, which is not the one we want. Versus the Panthers. Could have been. Could have been. The Carolina, possibly? Yeah, see, that's Hitmonlee. We don't want that. We've already got that. So we're going to reset. Alright, let's hatch the next Tyrogue and see what its stats look like. We might just have to pump it full of iron. I think iron is the defense boosting one. And maybe there's enough... Like, if we just boost it a little bit, like, maybe it'll just equalize and we'll get a Hitmontop and it'll be really nice. Eevee! Alright, do we have evolution stones on us? No, we don't. Do we have them in the PC? No, we need... We don't want them to have too much iron, though, because then they'll turn into Hitmonchan. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but if you have too little iron, you start kicking people. And if you have too much iron, you start punching people. If you have just the right amount, you start spinning around on your head. It's true. Pokemon taught me this. Do I have a Thunderstone? I do. And do I have a Water Stone? I do not. We're going to need to purchase a Water Stone. Yeah, humans are probably the same medically. I agree. Alright, let's go buy a Water Stone. I think Celadon sells them. They also sell vitamins in case we need them. Here we go. Let's see, second floor, third floor. I think it's on the fourth floor? Yeah, here we go. Give me that Water Stone. Alright, so... Thunderstone. That's Jolteon. Well, now isn't the time to use the stick. When I get into it, I can't tell if Oak is watching me, attempting to use my stick that I stole from a bird. Alright, we are going to go back to Daycare Island. I flew to the wrong city. We're going to go back there just in case we need to farm more Tyrogue. I'm hoping that we can get by with just these two, and that with the supplies we have on hand, one of them can be a Hitmonchan, one of them can be a Hitmontop, and then we can be done with the eggs. But just in case, it'd be good to have another one on hand at the ready. And then I think we just need to evolve Togepi, and I guess catch Mewtwo. Yeah, see, he's ready with another egg for us. We'll pick it up if we need it. We might not need it. So I reckon the next Tyrogue will probably hatch next, but I don't know, I guess we can take bets. Who's gonna hatch next? One of the Eevees or one of the Tyrogues? Vote now on your phones! Okay, here we go. We're gonna find out. I don't know. I think it's gonna be the Tyrogue. Nope, I was wrong. It's an Eevee. That's okay. Alright, well, let's evolve you. And then we'll stick the three of you in the box together. Eevee, or, what are you called? Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon. We'll put you all next to each other and never use any of you. Because we already have the Dream Team. Okay, stick you... Where is Flareon, anyway? Are you over here? Yeah, okay. Well, there they are. Look at them all sitting in a row. Red, blue, yellow. We already have the Dream Team, then why are we here? For imaginary internet points. We have to complete as much of the pokedex as we can. And then I'll get a little notification on my screen that tells me I did a good job. And it'll make a number go up on a website. And that will make me happy. That's why we're doing this. Gotta catch them all, exactly. Yes. If I was playing on my own, I would probably take the time to organize my boxes and sort Pokemon by type. I have not done that this playthrough, and I am okay with it in this instance. Okay, what about this Tyrogue? This one already has a abnormally high defense, which kind of makes you an ideal Hitmonchan candidate, which is good. So let's get you up to level 19. And then we might have to save and reset a little bit as we massage the numbers. Only if it sparks joy, you know. Oh wow, yeah, this guy's defense is loads higher than his attack. I think we got kind of lucky with that other one. But it ended up being so close. Okay. So we've got two of these at level 19. We already know that the top one will evolve into Hitmonlee. And the bottom one will evolve into Hitmonchan if we let it. Okay, we've got 4 iron. Let's use 1 iron on the Tyrogue up top. And let's use a rare candy. That was enough! That was enough! Yay! Okay, that wasn't... Man, that could have been a lot worse. I think we got really lucky with this guy. Oh, good. I was so concerned. Ah, fantastic. Hitmontop triple kick. And you're gonna grow up to be a boxer. There's something wrong with the pokedex here. By my loose count, there should be 2 more Pokemon that we need to get. Togetic and Mewtwo. But according to the game, I'm off by 2. There's 2 other Pokemon somewhere that I need to get. Let's see if we can't figure it out. Sandshrew doesn't exist in this game. Vulpix doesn't exist in this game. Can't get Alakazam. Can't get Machamp. Bellsprout doesn't exist in this game. Can't get Golem. Slowpoke, I'm pretty sure doesn't exist in this game. Yep. Gengar I can't get. Who are we missing? Staryu? Can I get Staryu? Doesn't look like it. This must be Magmar, which I can't get. Pinsir I can't get. Can't get Kabuto. Hoot Hoot? Can I get Hoot Hoot? No. Can I get Chinchou? No. Yeah, I know. Mewtwo, it's saying I'm missing 4. I'm able to identify 2 of those. Mewtwo and Togetic. Mareep isn't in this game. No. Meryl I don't think I can get. No. Don't think I can get Sudowoodo. Not sure what comes between Sudowoodo and Hoppip on the old Johto Pokedex. No Sunkern. Got Murkrow. No Girafarig. No Pineco. No Snubble. I doubt you can get Teddy Ursa. I doubt you can get Houndour. I don't think you can get Smeargle. No Miltank. Does this just keep going? Oh, why not? Yeah, we got why not. '86 is Politoed, okay. Yeah, I can't get that. Boy, what are we missing? Okay. List of... God dang. List of Pokemon in FireRed. Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, I guess we keep looking. Okay, so it's not the starters. Alright, let's just double check my sanity. Sandshrew? Nope, can't get it. Vulpix? Double check. Nope, can't get it. Alakazam? No. Machamp? No. Bellsprout? No. No. No to Golem. No to Slowpoke, Slowbro, Slowking. No to Gengar. No to Staryu and Starmie. That's a weird one to have as a version exclusive. Let's just double check that 126 is indeed Magmar. It is, and it is version exclusive. Pinsir is version exclusive. Okay. Kabuto. Yeah, nope. Can't get that. Aerodactyl. Snorlax, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Dratini. Yep, Mewtwo. Yep. Okay. Chikorita, Bayleaf, Meganium. Trade from XD. No. Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion. Colosseum or XD. No. Totodile, Croconaw, Ralligator. Colosseum or XD. No. Sentret, Furret. We've got it. Hoot Hoot, Noctowl. Emerald or Colosseum. Ladybug, got it. Spinnerack, got it. Crobat, got it. Chinchou and Lantern. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, no. Pichu, got it. Cleffa, got it. Igglybuff, got it. Togepi, got it. Togetic, we know we're missing that one. Natu and Xatu, got it. Mareep, Emerald or XD, no. Blossom, got it. Marill, Leaf Green exclusive. Same with Azumarill. Sudowoodo, Emerald or Colosseum, no. Politoed, Trade Evolution, no. Hoppip, Skiploom, Jumpluff, got it. Apom, Emerald or Colosseum, no. Sunkern, Sunflora, Emerald or Colosseum, no. Yanma, got it. Wooper and Quagsire, got it. Espeon and Umbreon, can't get it. Murkrow, got it. Slowking, can't get it. Misdreavus, can't get it. Leaf Green only. Unknown? I never caught a freaking Unknown? Okay. You know what? Fair. Okay. Unknown, Mewtwo, Togetic. But we're still missing another. Like, I can totally see myself missing Unknown, because it's kind of a Trashmon, but what else am I missing? Wobbuffet, got it. Girafarig, trade from Emerald. Pineco, Emerald or XD. Dunsparce, got it. Gligar, Emerald or XD. Steelix, can't get it. Snubble, Emerald. Quillfish, got it. Scizor, can't get it. Trade Evolution. Shuckle, Emerald or Colosseum. Heracross, got it. Sneasel, version exclusive to Leaf Green, can't get it. Teddiursa and Ursaring, trade from Emerald or XD. Slugma, got it. Swinub, Piloswine, got it. Corsola, trade from Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Remoraid and Octillery, Leaf Green exclusives. Delibird, got it. Mantine, Leaf Green exclusive. Skarmory, got it. Houndour and Houndoom, trade from Emerald or XD. Kingdra, Trade Evolution. Phanpy and Donphan, got it. Porygon 2, Trade Evolution. Stantler, Emerald or Colosseum. Smeargle, Emerald or Colosseum. Tyrogue, Hitmontop, got it. Smoochum, Elekid, got it. Magby, can't get it, version exclusive. Miltank, Emerald or Colosseum. Blissey, got it. It's the roamer. Oh, it's the roaming Pokemon. We have to catch Raikou. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Trashmon sounds mean. If you've never used an unknown, you know not what you say. Okay. Omelet, you're staying with us. Alright, let's go catch a freaking unknown. I don't think, thankfully, that this game has an achievement for catching all of the unknown, so I don't think we have to do that. Oh, catching an unknown will be easy. It's just such a forgettable Pokemon, basically. I was gonna look for something. I was gonna pull something up on the computer, but for the life of me, I can't remember what. Oh well. Oh, now I remember. I was gonna double check to make sure there isn't a achievement for catching every single letter of the unknown. Yeah, I better check that. Because if it turns out I'm wrong, I'm gonna be really annoyed. Let's find out. I could spell crispy. I certainly could. There is, in fact, no benefit to catching every single unknown in FireRed, per the current retro achievements set. So we won't. We just won't. I think we want to go to 7 Island. We'll check the map once we get there. Yeah, I think down here, I think this is where the unknown live. And there's Trainer Tower. We will have to check that out eventually, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on your outlook, I suppose. Centred, of course, is evil because it's, you know, its regular sprite and its shiny sprite are so difficult to discern between, but thankfully, the little star animation would have played if it were shiny. Also, thankfully, because we're big, fat, stinky cheaters, we have Master Balls, so, you know, if we do find a shiny, we're not in danger of losing it forever. There were a Cubone on screen, it was true. He was small and cute, and we ran away from him. What is your favorite and least favorite shiny? I feel like I have to say every stream, I am not so good at picking favorites. What is this? Chansey. What is going on in here? Dance, Chansey, dance. Would you like to dance? Crispy joined the Chansey dance. What on earth is this? Oh, it's a Pokemon Center. Okay, cool. What's this item? A Lucky Punch? Oh. That's a very niche held item. It raises Chansey's critical hit ratio. Because, you know, when I think of monsters in battle, I think Chansey. I think we have to head all the way to the right. I think we have to do some... Like, I don't think... Are there Wild Unknown in here right now? I don't think there are. Oh! Oh! Maybe there are! Yeah! One of these suckers. Alright. We catch an unknown. Unknown N. Sure. Why not? Yeah, but it's like... It has, like, negative attack points. It's like... It's so weak. Like, I'm sure there's a way to make Chansey viable, but it sounds like it'd be a pain in the butt. Okay, we caught our unknown. Good. There are 27 other unknown we could be catching. For each letter of the alphabet, the exclamation point, and the question mark. We will not. We simply will not. Now. As far as the rest go... Well, we can sort out Mewtwo pretty quick, I reckon. Let's go to Cerulean. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is like, yeah, it's got a lot of health, like HP stat large, but defense stat small. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's false security. Like, maybe Blissey's a little better, but Chansey... See, that's the thing about these held items. If it says it only works on Chansey, it only works on Chansey. It don't work on Blissey. So, like... Eh. I guess I kind of figured we would... Figured or hoped that we would just run into Raikou naturally as we were playing the post-game, and we didn't. Which is fine. There are ways of weeding him out, so to speak. We should be able to find him fine. I probably could use repels in this cave, if I have any. I have a cleanse tag. Max repel. Well, we have 2 anyway. I'm not sure how bad this cave is to navigate. It's been many a moon since I've been here. I see. The layout here is annoying. Oh, dang! Level 61 Parasect. Alright. Left or right? Let's go left. Ooh, level 61 Electrode. Are you gonna self-destruct on me? Guess we won't find out, thankfully. This seems like a positive route. It's, oh, never mind. This is not the long and winding road that leads to your door. Okay. Repel wore off. Yeah, now we're gonna get more. Well, what if we go to the right? What happens then? Can't escape. Oh, that's worrying. Okay, no, we're good. It's quite the graveler at level 52. Okay, no. What about this bottom middle path here? Is there an achievement? Sometimes there's an achievement. Catch Mewtwo, but don't use a Master Ball, you little cheater, you. It looks like that does not exist in this instance, so we are just going to use a Master Ball, and, we might, you know, we had Scyther on our team when we did the Elite Four the first time. Maybe we just let Mewtwo take Scyther's place. I don't know. Seems like a good, sensible swap to me. Okay. This seems, promising, perhaps. Do they have an achievement for Entei? It's gonna be Raikou in this version, because I had Squirtle as my starter, but yes, they do have an achievement for catching it. What's this? A max revive. Oh, is this not the way? Is this not where you go? Ooh, can't escape. Uh-oh. Kadabra fast. Oh no, maybe this is still okay. I don't know. I think they also changed the layout of this cave, like, for every game. Like, FireRed and Leaf Green, of course, are the same, but I think, like, Yellow might have had a different layout to Red and Blue, which might have had a different layout to the Japanese games. Like, I don't even know why I'm saving. I'm just gonna hurl a Master Ball at it, but good habits, I suppose. I mean, we might as well at least stay here for a moment. Might as well pretend, you know, that we're gonna fight it fair. enjoy the Mewtwo only, you know, different key battle music. I think that's basically the only difference, is that it's in a higher key compared to other wild Pokemon encounter music. Alright. Mewtwo, we'll fight you fair another day. Today is not that day. Alright, there's Mewtwo. Do I have an escape road? I do. Thank goodness for that. Alright, and I think we're probably gonna cut it there for this evening. I think that's gonna do it. We will search for Raikou next time that we come back to this game. Evolve our Togepi. And see about taking on round 2 of the Pokemon League. And that's all I got. So yeah. We'll save. You have a good evening. Have a good night. Don't know when we'll be back. I don't even necessarily know that the next time we come back we're gonna play this. Might play something else. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. We'll see what we want to do. Alright. Bye-bye.